What is going on, guys? Lord Valor here, and welcome back to another Lifecast. Pre-recording kind of sucks because future me is going to be listening to this and knowing stuff that I don't, so this kind of sucks. But it's fine. So I'm just going to keep mentioning that every time that I record a podcast that I'm scheduling for like 2 months in ahead. I'm just going to bring up the fact that future me is living it up, and I'm not. Joining me today is Kayla. She's back from
What
the
up,
many
y'all?
times she's been on.
I think this is what, like 3 or 4 now?
3. I don't know. I don't keep track of my guests anymore. Because people don't listen to it for me. They listen to it because other people are on.
Exactly.
I don't matter, everybody. Yes. So, I'm gonna put a clarification out there. We have someone in the background playing Smash, so it's fine. So if you hear sudden laughter or sudden click 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 of like a controller, it's fine. Don't worry about it. There's no one stalking us. It's fine.
Me.
It's just Josh. It's fine. So I don't know what we're talking about today. Honestly, I just told Kayla come up with the topic because I'm bored of coming up with topics. So I make it my guest's problem to tell me what to talk about.
Wonderful.
So, Kayla, what are we talking about today?
We're going to be talking about Disney, and I've kind of divided it up into 4 different, like, subtopics of Disney into, like, the original, like, Snow White, Beauty and the Beast, Cinderella, that kind of thing. And then the newer ones, like Tangled, Frozen, that kind of thing. Then the live versions that they've now started to make, and then Pixar finally, because Pixar is kind of its own thing, so.
Wonderful. Okay, so just start talking. Do your thing. What's the first topic and where are we going?
Well, the originals, I mean, what do you want to talk about with the originals, I guess? Like, do we want to talk about the movies, or?
I mean, what else original is there from Disney?
Well,
that's the stuff. That's the good kush.
The originals they're the ones that, like, when Walt Disney was around, he was kind of the head of them. So, like, Snow White is probably, I think, no, it's not the first. It's the first Disney princess, that Disney has. But when
Snow White was the first, right?
Yeah, Snow White was the first one, and she was 14 in the film, I think.
Snow White's a minor?
Yeah, Snow White's like 14 and the prince is like 21.
Oh no. What is it? Rule 60, what, 62?
I don't know.
Rule 62, better be careful. He's a minor.
I've looked at the age gaps before, or like I've seen the age gaps before, and like the age gaps between the princes and the princesses is like actually concerning. Because the princesses will be like minors, and then the princes will be like 19 or 20.
Disney supporting pedophilia? Goodness,
All right.
We're already starting off on a really dark note.
We're
Jeez,
starting off
what
on
the
a dark
frick,
note.
Kayla? This is your fault.
No, I didn't put it. Okay, fine. But anyway, I think
I grew up on like the originals on like DVR. Is that what it's called?
Yes.
DVR?
No,
That's the only
not
way to
DVR.
watch. VCR. Yeah.
No,
Yeah,
VHS.
It's fine. It was one of those. One of those.
VHS, the big VHS rectangle tapes.
Yeah,
that you put into the player. Yeah, those are the. We still
That's
had
the
those guys
good
back
stuff.
in the day. I know we're like 18 and 19, but still, we had those back in the day.
Why are you saying back in the day? You sound like an old granny.
You know what?
Back in my day.
You know.
We
let me
had VCRs.
You know what?
But that's just a proof of how far technology has come in the past.
I know. Like, when I was a kid, my parents still had, like, those the video recorder, like, the big video cameras.
Oh,
yeah. Yeah,
but we still have tape recorders of me and my siblings just chilling.
Yes. Yeah, and my mom made those into VHS tapes, and then she wants to transfer them to CDs now. But anyway, this is not what we're here to talk about. Disney,
yeah. So, what is your favorite original Disney?
Oh, boy. I don't know. I haven't seen all of the OGs.
That sounds like something a true Disney fan would never say. Kayla.
You know what? Shut up, okay? I haven't had enough time in my life to watch all of them.
She says that she's sitting here recording a podcast with me.
You know what? Let me live my life, okay? um, but I would say one of my favorites. Oh boy, there's a lot of them. I love Beauty and the Beast and Aladdin. Those are probably my two.
Aladdin is my favorite.
Aladdin is a quality movie. Also, okay, we can't forget about Lion King. That would be considered in one of the originals, I think.
Yes, it would.
And Lion King,
all three Aladdins are what I grew up on. Two Lion King. Mm-hmm. Obviously, VeggieTales. That's a different topic, but VeggieTales is a lot of. Those were the two main Disney movies I would watch and care about. Were Aladdin and Lion King.
I grew up in an all-girl household with 2 younger sisters, and so we watched a lot of Disney Princess. And so if you look in our cupboard, we have like Snow White, well, not Snow White, but we have like Beauty and the Beast, Little Mermaid, Lion King. We have all these like original Disney movies that my mom grew up watching as well. So, but the originals, they're hard to beat because that's what Walt Disney first started creating, and then Disney's kind of branched out from there. But those, in my opinion, can't be beat.
Yeah, you can't beat those.
You can't beat the originals. No matter how hard you try. Even though the new ones aren't really good, you can't beat the originals because
depends on which one you're talking about.
Well, okay, that's true. But a lot of the originals are what Disney is probably most famous for. It's like
obviously, yeah.
What you see in the parks and that kind of thing, like Mary Poppins, and Mary Poppins was a really good film as well.
Oh yeah, that is a Disney thing, isn't it?
Uh-huh.
Mary Poppins I grew up watching too, but I don't think about that because that's not animated.
Well,
you know what I mean?
It's half animated, half life. And I think that it was actually one of the first films that did that, I think, was, or it was one of the, maybe not the first, but it was one of the best well-done films back in the day of a combination of both animation and live action with people. There's
a film that came out a while back called Saving Mr. Banks. Have you seen that?
No.
You should.
I need to go watch that.
It follows the story of the author of Mary Poppins, the book, and her journey with Walt Disney, who is played by none other than Tom Hanks plays as Walt Disney in that movie, and he's very good.
I've never seen Saving Mr. Banks, and that's when I think
you definitely should. But the thing about that movie for me was I found the person who wrote Mary Poppins very repulsive, and I hated her.
Really?
Yes, she is in the movie. She is a biatch. She's like, it's well done. The actor who played her was acted that very well. It's just,
Gotcha.
So definitely go see that if you have not.
I need to go watch that. They have a lot of them on Disney Plus, and I gotta go.
Is that on Disney Plus?
It might be. I am not sure. I haven't stalked Disney Plus in a while. So.
I have not either, actually. Last time I was in Disney Plus was for Falcon Winter Soldier. And we talked a little bit about it with Josh last episode. So
I've never seen Marvel, guys. Well, okay, scratch that. I've seen a couple of Marvel movies. I've seen
one or two.
Captain America, the first one, and then I've seen Thor, and I've seen Black Panther, and I think that's the 3 I've seen. But those were just recent.
Black Panther was part of Stage 3, so you were already a little bit on Stage 3, but that's his origin story.
I was gonna say Josh had to watch it for a class too.
I'm not saying it's bad that you watched it. I'm just saying that he wasn't introduced to like mid-range of the series.
Right, yeah.
Anyway, that's Marvel stuff that me and Josh talked about last episode.
Go watch it.
Yeah, so if we're talking about original Disney, obviously we'll go back to Aladdin and Lion King were my two that I watched as a child. Cinderella was just kind of meh to me.
Cinderella was one of those, it's more of a classic that it's like, okay, you have to watch it at least once in your life because people always hear of like it's a Cinderella story, but if you don't know what the story of Cinderella is, you're like, well, what are they talking about? So I know a lot of what Disney pulls from is like the Grimm fairy tales, which are a lot more gruesome, but I think how Disney does it is well done. So
yeah, Disney, the original Disney, I'm gonna say, is very good. They've started to go down rabbit holes in my opinion, with their Marvel content. But I talked about that last episode. We're kind of like over. The weird thing about Disney is when you start talking about Disney, you start overlaying like different topics, and you're just gonna get off topic.
Because there's
Disney owns so much.
Yeah,
they own Hulu. People don't know that, but
really?
They own Hulu.
Oh.
Disney owns Hulu.
Yeah, they also they own the Star Wars, all of the Star Wars.
Star Wars, Marvel. They own a little bit of National Geographic, Pixar now.
Well, Pixar, Disney has Disney has owned Pixar for a while. Like that, they've owned Pixar for a long time.
Yeah, it's just Pixar was its own thing.
Yeah, but we can talk about that later. But yeah, the original Disneys, they're hard to beat because they're the classics. They're what everyone knows. They're what a lot of people have seen. They're what a lot of like our parents have grown up on. So
yeah, they were one of the first animated movies in theaters. That's when it was.
Yeah.
If you listen to people who are older than us, obviously like 20s, 30s.
Yeah.
I'm almost 20, so I should say 30s.
But say, Jonah, you're 19.
Yeah, if you talk to them, they always are like, oh yeah, Disney, you know, they put out animated movies, and we always do is go watch them with our friends because they were fun. That and Indiana Jones. Yeah. Indiana Jones movies were the ones. They would talk about those too.
I am gonna be honest, and I'm gonna say I've never seen Indiana Jones.
I've not either, actually. Yeah. I've only watched a couple of them.
But yeah, I've never seen Indiana Jones. I've never seen the Pirates of the Caribbean series.
Okay,
either.
That you need to watch.
I know.
I talked a little bit of that last week with Josh, but they're not good. They're the first ones. As they go on, the story kind of falls apart. But I don't watch them for their story, even though it would have been nice if their story had lined up at some time.
The story would have made it better.
The story would have made it better, but the comedy is really what it's for.
Gotcha.
Jack Sparrow is just a very funny guy. And the actor who acts him,
Johnny Depp.
Johnny Depp.
I keep seeing a meme everywhere about one of the lines. It's like, I've got a jar of dirt.
I've got a jar of dirt.
I keep seeing that everywhere. I'm like, huh?
Yeah,
never seen it, so I don't know context.
Yeah, you should definitely watch those.
I need to, but
start a list, Kayla.
I know.
You should see my list on my phone. It just scrolls for
I have
decades.
So many that I gotta watch. That's a summer thing.
Yeah, that is a summer thing. If you have time.
If I have time with work.
Anyway, so let's move on to the reanimated because we kind of already touched on that.
Oh, the lives?
The live ones.
Because they're doing the lives more for the original ones, not even the newer ones I haven't gotten
like, apparently the Cinderella was good. I've never seen it.
That was, okay, Cinderella, the live Cinderella was the first one that they ever did for a remake.
Did it follow the story well?
Yes, it stayed pretty much within the story, obviously adding its own elements. One thing that I loved about the live Cinderella, I actually saw it in theaters, which was really cool. But the one thing I loved about that one is they delved more into the mother of Cinderella. They talked about more of the whole backstory of how her father ended up marrying Lady Tremaine, which is the stepmother, and how the mom passed away and how that all kind of transpired. So that's what I really liked about how they did with that film. They really did a good job about setting up the story.
Right.
So, and then they also, it's hard to make Cinderella's carriage because how are you supposed to turn a pumpkin into a carriage in a live action film? And that is really cool. And I think they connected, what that film did really well was they connected a lot of the backstory into the present day. Of so there was kind of a whole, she wanted to wear her mom's dress, which was the same thing in the original Disney, but they connected it more into that as the story went on. And so the Cinderella one was really good, but also the Beauty and the Beast live action was also very well done.
Oh, that's what I was thinking of. Beauty and the Beast live action. That's the one I was thinking of.
The Beauty and the Beast live action was very well done.
Did that one stick to the story?
It
I
did,
haven't seen that one either.
That one actually stuck better than the Cinderella one did, to be honest.
Okay. Yeah. But then that was what if you're gonna remake something live action, you should stick to the story, in my opinion. But obviously, with it sounds with Cinderella, they gave her more backstory. Yeah. Which obviously you take a chance when you do that because sometimes, if you look at Star Wars. Some people don't like what they did with the backstory of those. You know what I mean? No, so you always take a chance of losing people when you do that. But
they did the backstory very well in the Cinderella one. The Beauty and the Beast one, I think what made it a lot better was they stuck really closely to the original while also adding in some of other touches to it that made it its own film, obviously. But then they got really, like, they got amazing actors and actresses to play the characters in the film. Like, they got, to play LeFou, they got Josh Gad, and he plays Olaf in Frozen, and LeFou is kind of that comedy that you need in the film, and he kind of brought that to life, which is really nice. Trying to remember who Gaston was played by. Don't remember his name. But Emma Watson played Belle, and she did a wonderful job of bringing Belle to life, actually, so.
Everyone's like, oh, Emma Watson's so good, and it's just like, she doesn't excite me.
You need to watch the film, because in Harry Potter, she's like her little self, and so a lot of people, like our age, would know her as Hermione.
Mm-hmm.
But when you get to, like, my sisters, for instance, they're not going to necessarily know her as Hermione. They're going to know her as Belle. And, like, younger kids are going to know her as Belle. And I think you need to go watch it, because she did a very good job of bringing Belle to life. So I think that film was very well done. And it's hard to recreate animated objects. So that was also well done, I think. So
yeah, let's talk about Aladdin, because I had my huge problems with Aladdin. If you watch the first 5 minutes of that film, that first song was very not good. They were like singing fast. They were doing like slow-mos and crap. And I'm like, what is going on? And that was very telling of how I thought the film was going to go. I kind of went in thinking, okay, I'm going to try to like it. But I'm probably not going to, because I like the original so much.
Yeah.
And to me, I don't know. It just didn't work.
I think...
Are they going to make a second? I heard a rumor that they're trying to make an
I have no idea.
But was it something about the end where, like, the genie... Something about the genie wasn't right, that they wouldn't be able to set up the next two movies.
Oh, because he wasn't still a genie. He became, like, a normal human.
Yeah, he became a normal human. It's like... But if you're really thinking about the second movie, or in the third movie, especially Sea of Thieves, I think it's the third, where he finds his dad or something.
I've never seen the sequels to Aladdin.
Then you can't make him human.
Yeah.
So, like, I had nothing against Will Smith. I thought Will Smith was pretty okay in the role.
Well, okay, here's this thing. You got Robin Williams, who originally played...
It's very hard to beat him.
Right, and if Robin Williams was alive, they probably would have asked him to play the genie. But here's the thing. Robin Williams wasn't alive. And so they had to find someone. And I think because Robin Williams was so legendary, that spot was hard to fill. But Will Smith did, I think, an incredible job.
He did a good job. I have nothing against Will Smith.
No, yeah. I think he did an incredible job.
My other problem was with Jafar. Jafar was a handsome young man. It's like, no. If you look in the movies, he has this old fart.
Yeah.
And the Aladdin in the remake was young and handsome, and the one in the animated is old, wrinkly, disgusting, and you miss that vibe.
I think Aladdin was probably, I don't want to say the worst live-action Disney has remade, but it's not the best they've done, because they also... You lose a lot of the storyline with Aladdin and Jasmine, because Jasmine, at the beginning of the film, is all about she wants to rule. She doesn't want, like, a husband or anything. She doesn't want a romantic partner. She just wants to rule. And by the end of it, all of a sudden, she somehow flips the switch and is all over Aladdin. Yeah, so it doesn't line up.
Character motivations was a little off. Yep. I don't know. I just think that Aladdin was a mess, in my opinion, but that's also because I loved Aladdin as the original. Yeah. So much better.
Also, did you know the original Aladdin was played by Steve from Full House? Did you know that?
I don't know what Full House is. So
You've never watched Full House? Oh my word. Okay, people that have seen Full House, 90s sitcom, will understand who I'm talking about.
I've heard
Steve
of it.
and
I
DJ.
Just never watched it.
Steve plays Aladdin in the original. So, for all of you Full House people out there, you know what I'm talking about.
I've heard about it. I just never watched it.
That's upsetting.
But yeah. What other remake was there? Lion King remake. Wasn't terrible. Just can't be the original. So, like, meh.
I don't think... Here's the thing. It's one thing to remake a film with people in it. It's another to remake a film with animals in it.
Yeah,
I loved the remake, not bashing the remake at all, because it was really good in my opinion. Obviously, you don't agree, but it was really good in my opinion. But to remake a film with animals, I think, was just too far.
Well, no, they have a lot more animation tools available to them right now than they did in 1997 or whenever Lion King came out.
Yeah.
So, like, I get their decision. It's just, it just feels like they're just recycling ideas.
Yeah.
I don't know. And
you know what I think?
That's not a popular opinion, because obviously people love the remakes. It's just,
you know what I think would be a good remake for Disney to do? Peter Pan.
Peter Pan got canceled, Kayla.
It did?
Yeah.
I completely... Okay.
Peter Pan got canceled. I don't remember why.
I was going to say, I did not hear about that.
But Peter Pan got taken off Disney Plus or something because it wouldn't be shown to people under 7. Something about being discriminatory towards Asians. Or maybe that was the Muppets. I don't know. It was really funky, but I don't think that's ever going to happen in the near future, unfortunately. But I would really otherwise sad. I would agree with you. Yeah, I would totally agree with you.
It's a film that has people in it, and I really think that if they did it right, they could do it well. Sorry, I'm looking up why it got canceled. Due to insensitive imagery.
Yeah, it doesn't. I don't know. It doesn't make sense. But
no. Oh, I think it's because so in the picture I'm looking at, they dressed up as like Indians or whatever, like where they wore the headdresses or something.
Right. That's right.
Cultural sensitivities were crossed.
Well, our 7th grade play is gonna get canceled.
Our 7th grade musical that we did is gonna get canceled.
Oh no.
Oh no.
Oh, no.
Oh man.
Yeah. So weird time to live in for that.
Gotta love it.
But that's I'm just the Mulan remake was
I have not seen it.
Not good either.
I haven't seen it, but what I've heard is they definitely took a very feminist approach to the whole thing, and they got rid of Mushu.
They got rid of all men, basically.
Really?
Huh. I mean, basically, any character that was going to like overtake the woman, they just said no, or like really toned him down. So like it's just it was just a very feminine approach, and that's a big turnoff. And that's my big problem with Disney is like they've started to go that route of we're gonna please the people that we're not gonna please the audience anymore. We're gonna please the people that are going to rate our film good, aka the judges or whatever you call them, the critics.
Yeah, the critics. I know Disney is coming out, I think, with a film that is about a gay person, and so I think somewhere in the
which is weird because not that long ago, when Gravity Falls was released, Disney said no, you cannot have a gay couple, and look at that. And like I don't know when Gravity Falls came out, 2014, but in like 10 years, look at how that switched. Disney is now going to probably be leading in that realm of which is weird. I'm not saying that's good or bad. I'm just saying that's an interesting twist of 10 years ago Disney wouldn't allow it, and now suddenly they're making films about it, you know?
The amount of cultural, well, not cultural, but like the amount of change that has happened since we were kids is insane, because like I remember watching Peter Pan as a little kid, and now it's not, like we can't watch it.
Well, it's on Disney Plus,
but
it's
not
just,
for like little kids.
If you had an account set up for like a 7-year-old or like under, it won't show up if you search it or something.
Those kids accounts, I see.
Or it will flash a warning that might be insensitive content or something. They did the same thing with Muppets, which is weird.
Muppets?
Because of Swedish Chef.
Oh my
Because apparently that's racist or something.
Really? The Muppets?
Yeah. It's very unfortunate, but
that's so sad.
You can still watch it, so that's it's okay because you can still watch it.
But anyway, do we want to move on to like the newer films that Disney's making?
So you're thinking like Tangled,
I'm thinking
which
like
I've never seen. I have seen. It was just a very long time ago.
I was gonna say I'm about to be really offended if you have not seen Tangled.
I've seen it. It's just I don't remember much about it. It's kind of a forgettable movie in my opinion.
You are about to get
it's just so
good.
to the same shtick.
What do you mean?
It's the same shtick.
How?
Prince. Oh no. Princess. Oh no. Abusive mom. Oh no. I have long hair. Oh no. It's a problem. Oh no. There's a problem. Oh no. Talking horse. Oh no. Oh no. Hey,
the horse
let's.
doesn't
Hey,
talk.
we're in
I
a
hate to break it
boat.
to you.
Hey, we're in a boat. Let's kiss. Hey, happily ever after. I don't know. It's just the same shtick. And compared to something like, is Zootopia Pixar?
No, I think Zootopia.
Zootopia. Well, it's. But that's my point. Is Zootopia was not that cliche stick, and Tangled in my mind was. So like I'm going to choose to watch something like Tangled or not
Disney,
Tangled.
or Zootopia is not Pixar. It's Disney.
Okay, so yeah, see that's something I would get behind more than that same princess shtick. Even Moana
kind of
was very different.
Mm-hmm.
I mean, obviously she's princess or whatever.
Yeah.
But when I watched it, I did not think of her as a Disney princess, which was nice. That was very different.
Yeah, I would agree with that. Where it definitely, Moana definitely diverted from that. But one film that I loved that Disney made was Coco.
Oh yes,
Coco,
that was very different as well.
Oh my goodness, Coco was so amazing because here's the thing, they delved into another culture. And they actually went into, I think, Mexico.
Oh yeah, they did their research.
Right, they did their research, and they like actually legitimately like found stuff about Day of the Dead and Dia de los Muertos, and they like made the film based off of what they saw. So like all the orange flowers and the shrines and all the pictures and that kind of thing.
Whenever you go, like whenever you do that as like you try to get it culturally correct. Mm-hmm. You're always better off. So Disney definitely deserves props for that. They did their research.
Mm-hmm. And they did keep some Spanish in there. The majority of the film was English, but they did throw some Spanish in there. So like just some like expressions or phrases that they threw in there that were Spanish, which was, I think, really cool.
I think the first time I actually watched that movie was in a Spanish class.
Really?
So I watched the whole movie in Spanish, so I would not have noticed that.
Yeah, but I saw it in English before.
I wouldn't say the Coco story was like breakthrough in like writing, but it was very well written. Mm-hmm. Like obviously, I'm not gonna go out there and say it should win Film of the Year, even though it won several Oscars. I do believe for
I have no idea
something for original soundtrack or something.
I have no idea,
but it was very good. Mm-hmm. It was very good. I forgot about that one, but yes,
yeah,
it was
Coco
a good one.
Was well done. I'm trying to think. Frozen and Frozen 2 were also, I think...
Frozen 1 better than Frozen 2, in my opinion.
I think the music in Frozen 2, tops Frozen 1. I like the original Frozen.
The music?
I think the music tops it.
Okay, I could get behind that.
Because, yeah, I think the music tops it, just because the music that they did was... Because, okay, after seeing it in 2013 when the first movie came out, those songs were repeated over and over, and so then you kind of got sick of them.
Yeah, but I still think they're very good.
Well, right, they're still good, and now not having heard them as often, they're better.
Right.
But I still think the Frozen 2 songs were...
Lost in the Woods?
Yes.
That's probably my favorite.
I really like, what is it? Show Yourself? It's right towards the end of the movie, but... Yes. I think one scene that I really loved in Frozen 2 was when Olaf just recounted the entire story of Frozen just like in 2 minutes. Yeah, it was wonderful.
My thing about Frozen 2, there's a few pacing issues for me. It just seemed like sometimes the story was a little bit forced. Just like, hey, you're gonna do this because the script says so, because we need to move plot along.
It's in the script.
Yeah, it's in the script.
Another
thing... that's what the big thing was there for me. And a lot of Elsa's lines, like, I have to go off on my own, was just kind of, like, repetitive and annoying. Mm-hmm. And it's like, yeah, you do realize that, obviously, your sister's not even going to take that for an answer, so you might as well take her along with you, because she's not going to take no as an answer. And you're just putting both of you more in danger. Yeah. Because you're not taking her with you. Mm-hmm. You're putting her more in danger because you know she's going to follow you. So, like...
Yeah. I know you've said before, too, that you thought some of those moments between the two sisters were very cliche.
It was just very cliche and very... I used a specific word. It was just very cheesy.
Cringy?
Cheesy, cringy. It was just like... don't go off your own. I have to. I need to. It's my calling. It's like,
The voice is calling me.
Yeah.
Well,
Come
that's what was going on in the
here.
movie.
Come here.
But
Yeah.
yeah.
But obviously there's gonna be that. Unfortunately, there's gonna be that with kids' movies.
Mm-hmm. That's why they're kids'
But-
movies and not movies for adults.
Yeah. Yeah.
But yeah.
But
I think,
obviously they needed conflict in order to get that movie going, right?
Right.
It's just I feel
Mhm.
like they could have chosen a different path for that conflict.
yeah. But I mean, overall, and I'm glad they ended it. I don't think they don't need a Frozen 3 because the way they wrapped it up was really
Yeah,
good. They wrapped it up really nice.
The thing that scares me when people start making seconds and thirds of things in today's world
Mm-hmm.
is they're gonna overdo it.
Yeah.
They're gonna follow the money. They're not gonna follow the story. They're gonna
Mm.
follow what's gonna get me cash.
Yeah.
And then that's when you get series that start to
Yeah.
fall apart. I've never watched it, but people say Community was like that. It was just kind of like
Yeah.
it
That's
fell
why a friend of
apart
mine is
because
sad.
it just seemed to fall apart. The Office they say is that way too. I'm only
Um,
halfway through The Office, but
What was I gonna say? There was something. I'm trying to think. There's one. Alvin and the Chipmunks. I know this is not Disney,
Oh,
but they will
jeez.
never die. They will never die. They
I
don't
love-
follow the money. They just went with the story, and I think they did it really well.
it's been so long since I've
have you seen all
Alvin and-
4 of them? There's 4 movies.
I
They're
have.
so good.
I've not. It's been a long time though.
Oh. Chipwrecked, I think, is my favorite, but that is another topic.
That has been a while. Wow, I've not thought about those movies in a hot second.
They're so good. Anyway, so yeah, that's kind of the newer ones. And then, do we want to move on to Pixar? Because
Yeah, we can talk about Pixar a little bit. The best Pixar movie, it's been a while since I've seen it. WALL-E is very high up
Same.
there.
I haven't seen that in so long.
It's just people just love it. I don't know why people love it so much.
Yeah.
It's been a while, but I just know that that's what people love. It's very good. I do
think-
remember liking
Mhm.
it. It's just people
Because
hyped that one up very much.
I think it was the simplicity of it. It was more futuristic, and it didn't have any words. Except for until right at the end, I think, when, like, humans came in.
Yeah.
But majority of it was just the robots talking. And so the simplicity of not necessarily hearing them talk, but just interacting with each other is, I think, what pulls people to it.
Yeah, and also obviously there's underlying messages there of like
Mhm.
don't trash the earth and stuff. But they
Right.
did a good job of kind of
Mm-hmm.
I don't know. I'm not gonna say hiding it because it was very obvious, but they didn't hit you over the head with it.
Right,
They
yeah.
didn't have people saying lines like, "Oh, humans did this to themselves." You know what I
Right,
mean?
yeah, yep.
There was none of those cliche lines that just hit you over the head with it. It was just like it's there. It's what
Yeah.
happened.
Mm-hmm. One Pixar movie that I love that is, I don't know, I think it's well known, but it's not necessarily well talked about, is Brave. Have you ever seen
I don't.
that?
I have. I just don't remember liking it.
I
don't know
actually-
why.
really
I
like
just
it.
didn't enjoy it. Yeah, but I did see it in like second grade.
Mm,
So, like-
it came out in like 2010, yeah. So it's
Yeah,
been
it's
a while,
been
but-
a hot minute.
But that movie actually, I really like it. I draw to family bonds and just like a mother-daughter bond. I love family relationships, and so that's, I think, why I draw to it, is because of those family relationships.
The only scene I remember from that is the scene where she dresses up as a guy and shoots at her own thing, so she doesn't have to
Mm.
marry people or something.
Yeah, yep. She's
That's
like,
the only part I remember. And then there was a
Mhm.
scary bear.
Yes, yeah, because...
But I think that's what really, in second grade, that's what really turned the movie off for me. Is there was this freaky bear and I hated it.
Mordu. Oh boy, I haven't seen that movie in forever.
Yeah,
I
it's
need
been
to
a
go watch
while.
it.
I should
But-
probably watch it again, but
Yeah,
I just remember
I
not
really
enjoying
like
it.
it. Oh, is Cars part of Pixar?
yeah, that's a
Cars.
classic. I grew up watching that one.
I think also the 2 add-ons to it, I think they did the sequels well. I don't think that
The spy one was kind of out there and weird, and that's why people don't like it. But they took a different direction. It was kind of funny.
Yeah, I think
The last one
was the electronic cars, kind of showing
Yeah.
that we're moving beyond just
yeah. I mean,
so.
obviously the first one's the best one,
Oh, 100%.
but I think the second one was the worst one of the 3
I would agree with that. Yeah.
because it wasn't about racing. It's about spies. His car spies.
Spies.
Which it was a different approach. It was a different approach. It was kind of cool, but
they focused on Mater more, which I did like that aspect where they focused on Mater instead of McQueen. But,
yeah.
But also, okay, and then I know you're gonna want to talk about this because Toy Story is also part of Pixar.
Oh yeah, I loved all of those movies. People hate me for that. Oh, the last one was so bad. Oh,
the last one wasn't even that bad.
I loved it. That's because they were. Yeah, I don't know. Just because they were adding on a story that I grew up watching. Obviously, I grew up with the first two. In what is it? DVR? What did you say?
VHS.
VHS tapes. Obviously, I grew up with two of those.
Really?
I had both those, and we watched those quite a bit. And then the third one came out. We saw it in theaters. The fourth one came out. I wait till that dropped on Disney Plus, and that was when year ago.
That would have been about a year ago.
It was about a year ago. So I think I watched it this summer before I came to college. Is when it dropped on Disney Plus.
Yep. So that would have been, I think, about a year ago-ish, maybe a little more than that. But I think Toy Story is always going to be one of those, if you haven't seen them, go watch them. Like, it's going to be one of those, I think it's going to be one of those films that people know for a long time.
The fourth one almost made me cry. I'm not going to lie.
Actually, I think it did make me cry, not going to lie.
So... I'm going to say one of my favorite Pixar, I think it's Pixar, Incredibles.
Yes, that's
Both
Pixar.
of them are very good, though it took them 15 years to make the second one, which I think is very funny.
It's kind of funny, yeah.
But they are very well done. Both of them. I don't know, I just like The Incredibles.
The Incredibles are well done. I really wish they hadn't waited so long with the second one.
I don't mind it.
The first one is always going to be a
They could make it more visually pleasurable.
Yeah, and I will say they changed some of the effects. Pleasurable.
I don't like that word. But yeah, they had a lot more technology at their disposal. And I remember seeing that one in theater. Yes, that is such a good movie too.
Sorry, I'm kind of...
Nope, you're good.
Up is so good. I love the one song that makes everyone cry is right at the beginning when Carl and Ellie are living their life together, and it's that whole scene, and then you get to the end where they're like where she's dying, and then it gets really sad and people cry.
Oh yeah, they get you emotionally, and it's awesome. They do it really well.
I know. Yeah, oh boy, I haven't seen that movie in so long. That was
it's been a while. The talking dog squirrel.
Yeah, squirrel. Doug.
Is that what his name was?
Yeah, his name is Doug. Anyway.
Yeah, so I think that is that it.
I think that kind of wraps it up for. I mean, there's a lot of other Disney that are not very well known. Like there's some Disney ones like The Game Plan, which is not very well known by people, which has Dwayne The Rock Johnson in it. There's other Disney movies that are not very well known that not a lot of people have, like that my mom grew up watching that that people our age wouldn't know. But there's also like Disney Channel and the Disney Channel original movies like High School Musical and that kind of thing. Hey, don't shake your head. High School Musical's a good movie.
Here's my thing about High School Musical. The story's fine. The music is fine. Together, didn't work for me.
Really?
And I don't know why. It's just, that's what I've come to. The story was alright. I can't diss the story so much. The songs were well written. The singing was good. It's just together. I don't know. It just felt cheesy to me, I guess. But I'm not the target audience. So like, the songs are fine. The story's fine. Together, I wasn't my thing.
High School Musical, I loved them, all three of them. And then also, Disney Channel's got a new Zombies 1 and 2. You probably have no idea.
I know what those are.
Oh, okay.
I just haven't seen them.
They're not directed by Kenny Ortega, but they're also well done. Disney Descendants, which basically takes a look at the kids of the villains and the kids of the
I have that on my watch list. I've never actually gotten to it.
There's 3 of them, and they're actually good. They're also directed by Kenny Ortega, and so, but put the fact that don't think about it as a High School Musical vibe, because it's not really. I think they're two different, even though it's the same director. I think they're two different realms, and they're two different kind of things.
Well, obviously, but like, don't put them in the same categories.
Right, don't put them in the same category, even though they're directed by the same person. So, But I mean, there's also a lot of like Disney Channel original movies and Disney Channel TV shows and that kind of thing. Yeah, there's a lot of other Disney stuff that we didn't hit on. So, but those are kind of the main.
We hit the main
4.
ones that we enjoyed and wanted to talk about.
Yes, yep. Because those are kind of the main 4 that are really not the most important, but the ones that are like
poignant to us.
Yes, that a lot of people know. Like a lot of people know of the newer ones. A lot of people know of the originals. Majority of people probably know about the remakes, and a lot of people know about Pixar. So like it's all kind of the 4 main areas where obviously there are other underlying things. So if you want to go find some of those underlying things, go look at Disney Plus. They've got a whole bunch on there. So
we're not sponsored by Disney Plus.
We're not sponsored, but
just,
yeah.
Just talking about Disney's just such a big thing that it's hard to not talk about something. Even if we started talking about sports, we're talking about Disney. Disney owns ESPN.
Oh yeah, because
so,
there's a package of Disney Plus, Hulu, and ESPN Plus that you can buy. That you get all 3 for a certain price. So
it's hard not to talk about something in the entertainment industry.
Disney's
and
a
not
monopoly.
Talk about Disney.
Disney's a monopoly.
Kind of, yeah. they kind of are, but
a little bit.
I mean, I don't know how that's a government thing. Like I don't know if the government's ever gonna do something about, but like it's
so many people love Disney, and they have enough money that they made 2 parks.
That's the thing, though. They have enough money that they can make their films well.
And they made 2 parks, and they're like adding more onto it. So like, I've never been to Disneyland, but I have been to Disney World, and holy cow, if you go there, go to Magic Kingdom. That is always the traditional park to go to because that's the park that. Why are you laughing?
Imagine having enough money to do that shit.
You know what? Let me live my life, okay? My parents paid for it. But Magic Kingdom is like the traditional park that a lot of people know of with Cinderella's Castle. And like they have all the princesses there. They have Fantasyland, Tomorrowland.
I don't need a Fantasyland. I got my own.
Anyway, but they have all these like, so they hit on all these kind of areas of Disney. And like the genres, quote unquote. And then they have all these attractions. And so like, I want to say about 7, no, not 7. I would say 5 or 6 years ago, they added a Snow White and the 7 Dwarfs Mine Train, which is basically, it's not a roller coaster, but it's not just this ride you ride through. It's like, it's a mix of kind of, you're in this minecart almost. Minecart. You're going to Brazil.
You're going to Brazil.
Anyway, so you get in this like roller coaster kind of thingy with like a different like mine carts or whatever, and you go on this thing, and it doesn't like flip you upside down or whatever, but it is fast, and you go kind of side to side or whatever, and that's a lot of fun. They also have like Space Mountain, Splash Mountain, Big Thunder Mountain, lots of roller coasters. I'm a big Disney park fan, if you can't tell.
She's just a Disney fan in general, guys. So
Hey, Disney was my childhood, okay?
Of all the things to be nerdy about, Disney would not be on my list.
You know what?
But it's fine. It's not my life.
Let me live my life, okay?
I'm not judging you for that. I'm just
no, but
critiquing you for that.
Okay. But Disney has made such, like Walt Disney World specifically, they have the 4 different parks. So there's Magic Kingdom, Epcot, Hollywood Studios, and Animal Kingdom. And they have all of those spread out. And then they have all these different resorts. So they have like an ESPN resort there, I think. They have all these all-star music, all-star sports, different things. They also have different resorts. So like when my family went like Christmas of 2009, 2010, we stayed in a Pirates of the Caribbean themed like part of the resort, and that was like the beds were like the ships, the bedspreads were or the comforters were like gold, the fridge was like a barrel. How Disney does it is really well done, I will say. They have enough money to like actually expand and make resorts and water parks and different parks and that kind of thing. So
imagine having enough money to do that.
Imagine having enough money to pay for college tuition.
Truth. Anyways, that's gonna wrap it up for this episode. We've been rambling on for 46 minutes. We're fine.
We're fine.
It's fine.
It's not finals week or anything.
Nah, they're totally not better things we should be doing with our life right now, but it's fine. Alright, thank you guys for watching this episode. Obviously, if you want more content, if you like what you see, subscribe, like, whatever.
If you want to see me again.
Yeah, you're kind of judging Kayla here, so, like, if you press the down like, you're saying you don't like
Excuse
Kayla.
me,
If you're
please
pressing
don't,
the up
please
like,
don't.
you're saying you like Kayla.
Come on, guys. I've been on here 3 or 4 times. You gotta like me by now, right?
Kayla,
she's decent at Smash, so that's a plus.
Hey.
she lives to please you guys, apparently. She apparently cares how you guys think of her. So, anyway, thank you
Ouch,
guys
okay.
for checking out the channel. Make sure, obviously, there's links down in the description if you want to subscribe to some people individually. There's our Reddit and Discord down there you can join to talk with us. And yeah, I think that just about does it. So
He needs podcast ideas.
yeah, I need podcast ideas. So if you do have something you want us to talk about, I'm almost more than willing to talk about almost anything. So put it down in the comments. Thank you, Kayla, for joining me.
Of course.
You always say yes when I ask you, and that's probably why you're on so much. Because if I need someone in a crunch, I just ask you or Josh, and normally I get
one of the two of us.
I get
or
one
both.
of the two of you to help me out with something. So thank you guys for tuning in. When life gives you lemons, rate Disney movies.